smugglers. You can't smuggle 1 pound. All that work for 1 pound? I said, the less I can give you is 10. The less. Then he thought I was crazy. I said, do you know what we've been doing every day? I said, yeah, we've been walking, exercising, and drinking some of that chilled wine, or and snorting cocaine. I said, that's right. I said, you remember those jars I had in the kitchen? Yeah. So they had about 1 or 2 ounces each. You know, every time I'd buy a package, I'd take a couple ounces out to remember the quality. So when we down there, we're not doing no business. We setting up business. I said, we snorted up a pound between me and you since we've been here 30 days. I say, me and you done snorted up a pound up here, no wonder we ain't crazy. It just helps. That's the only thing that keeps us all right. So he listened. I hope he listens now. So, first trip, perfect, no problem. Second trip, perfect, no problem. Not perfect, but good. Because see, that big money, if you ain't had no, it started to burn a hole. The first time you listen, Big Hank give you the game. You do this, don't do that. Don't buy no new car. Buy your old car. Just ride around for a couple of years. When we come on the surface, you just be a millionaire. Third trip though, we start. You know, and I know how it felt because money makes your blood boil. Yes it do. I don't care what you say. You selling big dope and doing big things, mental challenges, that is a high itself. If you send somewhere, you got to think how to get it there, and they got a whole system to stop you from getting there, and you get it there every time. That's pretty good. That feels good. But when you start hand to hand, distributing, selling it, and picking up the money, yes, indeed. On that level. So, about the fourth time, and thank God, because I was going through certain changes. The changes was this, studying revolutionary literature, taking money back to Africa, but I went back to Africa and the brothers had run off, they wasn't there. So I didn't have no reason to sell dope anymore, because that was for the rebellion. But the other thing was, we got big money now, and I'm setting up. The things are set up now. I walked away from it right in the middle. That means I done bought the stuff, and I got it going through the process. And I walked away from it. You know why? It's natural. If that would have hit, it's so big, you wouldn't hardly quit. You know what I mean? That's the way it is, so it'd be harder. I walked away for it in the middle. I don't know who got rich, but I ain't read nothing about it. This got knocked over, that got knocked over. I ain't called nobody, I ain't asked no questions. So everything went as planned. But the thing about it was this. My partner was looking at it like, I'd go by and tell the brother that we need to do this, we need to do that, so send this and send that. All right, just over here. $500,000, stuff like this. So, well, in those days, it was just a couple $100,000. I mean, nowadays, this disinflation actually be a little more. But that was a lot of money then. But the message he sent me was, I'm on the big end now. And that's the joke that my sons and I have. When I tell them to do something, they say, I'm on the big end now, Dad. In other words, he's there where all the money is. And he didn't realize, of course, he's the poorest man in the region right away. And was poor after 6 months. He was the poorest man in the region. Anybody can tell you. Because that's backwards. Your connection is your lifeline. I loved all of my connections. Liked them. I mean, you're just a nice guy. And you better not say nothing to him because you was talking bad to so-and-so. I wouldn't tell him that's my connection. But hey, you better be friendly from now on. That's my connection. That's my food. That's my family. That's my business. That's everything. So he told me, his old friend for, I don't know, most of his life, 2/3, I'm on the big end now. That means I'm up here in Oakland with all the customers. And you're down there in South America. And you can't come back up here. So I'm on the big end now. So I sent my little cutie pie. I said, well, just take pictures of them, give me an envelope, you know. And I paid for something to happen. Then I said, well, I forget it. Same thing I do now. I forget it. That overlooking La Tatrabu goes for then and it goes for now. Except we're in another stage. When it says, speak a word direct, not frivolous, not called out to do harm, not to do anything, but on the question of leaderless resistance. If I am 24-hour surrounded, other people in the movement have learned by now what should be done, and they do it. That's what leaderless resistance is. I have most everybody, does anybody believe that I'm 24-hour surveillance? Probably so, okay? That means, if anybody been listening to this for like 2 months, that's enough. 3 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. That means you would be a scholar in this stuff. So therefore, like the old girl used to say, what's the yellow lady?
Kathy Hughes.
Knowledge is power.
Information.
Knowledge is not power unless you use it. Everything, a gun is not power unless you use it. Nothing is worth anything unless you use it properly. A lot of people know COINTEL program, all that. And the only way you gain big knowledge is by implementing it. That's the way you gain functional knowledge, is by implementing it, not listening to it. It's just like going to school. You go to school for 10 years and you get a degree and you're a PhD. What can you do? Nothing. You can go teach a class. That's it. But you can't do anything. They say, if you can't do it, teach it. If you can't do economics, teach it. Because teaching means you just follow the book. So, okay, our next move, we're already in transition. So we need bucket loads of big Negroes. Bucket loads, not just here. Even little simple stuff. You know, for instance, this is the old Grand Master, so they call this, beautiful architect. You know who beautiful architect is? Hassan al-Banna. Hassan is handsome. Banna, Bunyad, building. Beautiful architect. His name He was an architect of Ikhwan al-Muslimin. That boy lived up to his name. Hassan al-Banna. Beautiful architect. Stand Firm, Labata, Crescent articles, this is in 15. 2010, 20 vision, way back then, 2030 vision also. In other words, anticipation. We have these on every subject you can imagine. Now imagine from Baltimore to Richmond. We should automatically have a crew that have enough sense to get out and pass them out. And we go out every week, sure, why not? Those are simple things. That simple stuff will saturate. If I take California and do the Bay Area, 9 counties, and this is taken care of, all we got to do, I'll duplicate them, I'll run them all off, and we'll saturate the people. The next thing, all programs, all regional programs. This is just step 1 out of 100 steps. But this one step knocks the whole thing. Because nobody, in 1 year, everybody knows who we are. So, every 4 months, even every 6 months, we'll just do fundraisers all over. Well, whatever flyers we put out from Richmond to Baltimore, right? With recycling what we already have, with better writings, explaining and focusing, within a year's time, the people will be educated. And it's simple, it's not hard at all. It's the easiest thing in the world. Just 3 or 4 brothers, go out every week, maybe to this place, every week. And we should be able to hustle up that many brothers. Just imagine, we just have 10 or 12 brothers. We got the material. We got all these, we got all these Masjid. And all of them, that's our specific responsibility, because that's in our area. And they've all heard about us, you know that? They've heard a bunch of lies. If they start getting our literature and flyer, then we hire another writer to write. You know, the only reason we're not writing anything because we don't have nobody that can write it. But when we get good staff, we can transcribe half the stuff we talk about. We can transcribe it. They might even have a machine, but I don't know, transcribe it. And then we edit it. And that takes care of the print media, the sound media, audio, and the visual, audio-visual. And we saturate both of our areas. That's the start of the big transformation, and it's simple. We do that, just imagine in 2 years, we got 12, 13 people, or we got 10 or 12 teams going out every Eid. 10 or 12 teams. That's simple. That's just 30 people. Every Eid. And everybody knows. Just imagine all the smart Negroes, the smart Sudanese, the lovable Pakistanis, everybody that kind of got a feel for us. They come and drop money in the box. Our independence is higher. And this is not rocket science, this is so simple. Just do it. Nothing to it at all. All I do, I got stacks of stuff down there already. I still got stuff in boxes. 2015, 2012, 2009, all the stuff that we talked about before, I still have it. And we can duplicate it, make better flyers. We can become professional. First we started this quality. This has 8 in it. We can sell them, give them away, we can do what we want. We can have specialized ones, like, okay, this is for adults, because they're funny. So we give them that. Then we give them another. We just feed them a free CD, and somebody said they had 28 places or 10, I mean, that. And Dahlia, and then I'll be going out myself half the time. Because I don't need to give khutbah to people who are not doing anything, they're just listening. The only reason I'm giving the khutbahs is because we're putting it on there. There's no sense in telling. There's no sense in talking to people that sit there and watch and go down and eat and they go home. That's insanity. And whatever the police do to me, it's the worst stuff anybody ever heard of. It's never happened before. Everybody just looks. Oh, okay. You don't even hear a comment about it. There's no comment like, hey man, we gotta figure that out. How often does that happen? Does it happen every day? Oh, what do you think though? What do you think? No, it's just so. Right? Now suppose I was somebody else. Do you think they would work under those conditions? After 2 weeks, they would say what everybody else said. You niggas want freedom? You go get it yourself. They would say what the old man used to say. It ain't the white man that's the problem. That was about 69. It's the niggas. Of course, it's the Euro. Always has been. But he takes advantage of our people. You know what I mean? Okay, we got the best story ever told. This stuff has never happened in America. It's slipped up on them, and their hands is tied. They're the ones in trouble. We're not in no trouble. They so far out of pocket, it's unbelievable. We don't even have to do nothing, technically. Give a little talk every now and then. Why? Because they headed down. We want to help cushion their fall. We want to help them. And we want to prevent them from killing everybody too. You see what I mean? If we don't do our job, these Euros will blame. They will kill off all the other white like they're doing. Because if those white folks become aware of the big white folks, the 1%, they're sending all the dope, killing all their families. They had a phony thing, and I was wore clothes on TV yesterday. I didn't watch it because I couldn't stand the big lie. How they, secret thing, how they arrested this big Afghan super drug dealer. I was reading somewhere, I might have to see it, and I really will close. Record for U.S. drug seizures at sea. This is just from yesterday. This is a record for U.S. drug seizures. This is a big deal to them. But you know what? You don't never hear about no dope shortages. You know how long they've been getting drug seizures? Since I was dealing dope. Have you ever heard of any drug, no matter how big a drug seizure they have you ever heard of everybody, man, I can't get no cocaine, I can't get no heroin, I can't get nothing. It's dry. If they get Escobar, don't nobody even know unless they put it in the news, because everybody's still getting the same amount of cocaine, right? If they get the Cali cartel, it don't make no difference. If they get the Zetas, if they get this and that, they don't kill each other. Remember, as soon as everybody gets big, the white man interjects something and they start killing each other off. Wonder who's doing that? Divide, conquer, and rule. So we got to get to the world. Last thing, all American allies are big dope dealers. Always have been. Remember, they used to have the French Connection. They said, the French Connection. Marseille, France. Marseille, France where? Turkey. Who else was big in that area? Iran, before the revolution. Ashraf, you Iranians know, you see, y'all got to tell the people that Ashraf, the Shah's sister, was the biggest dope dealer in the world, just about. Remember when they was in Southeast Asia, the Vietnam War? Remember the Golden Triangle? Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam. The Golden Triangle. Haran. Do y'all remember that movie where the Negro went over there?
American Gangster.
American Gangster. Do you remember what the Chinaman, who he worked for? Chiang Kai-shek. That's what they said. You ever heard this saying in the Congress about so-and-so's a son of a bitch, but he's our son of a bitch? Do you know who that was? Chiang Kai-shek in 1950. That's who the Congress was talking about. Who selling the most dope? China white? Chiang Kai-shek. You remember Iran-Contra? When they couldn't hustle up no oil money? What was the big government doing? The CIA already controlled the dope, but y'all can't mix up those stuff, man. This is ours. So what does the Reagan's crew get in? Ali North and all them? Iran-Contra, Hassan Fusnam. Drugs and money for the Contras. And when when they bust, they put the Negro in the penitentiary. They didn't put Blandon in the penitentiary. They put the Negro in the penitentiary from LA. Freeway Rick. They put him in the penitentiary. And everybody knows that he was a student. Everybody's all on TV, all on the radio, all in the books. All American Afghanistan. Heroin production increased over 500% when the U.S. came to Afghanistan. 25% of your straight up heroin now in America comes from where? Afghanistan. Yes, it does. Sure it does. Good, potent heroin. Yes. Europe, heroin. All U.S. allies, Madam New, Vietnam, dope dealers, opium dealers. That's the way it is. Mexico, American ally. Why they won't legalize drugs? They can't stop it, right? It's a 50-year-old war on drugs. Did they do that with alcohol? White folks wouldn't stop, Negroes wouldn't stop drinking alcohol. So it lasted 12 years. They said, quit, it ain't working. But alcohol produced Al Capone, produced mafia, produced all that. Before in America, big gangsterism was gambling and pimping. But when alcohol became illegal, Al Capone used to make in 1927 $720,000 a week. It's like 700 million a week now. Per week. Alcohol. All that alcohol in Canada. Well, they got the whole thing right there. Chicago's here. Canada's right there. Right? 3-4 boatloads, they ain't got no Coast Guard and all that in those days. Because if they do, it don't make a difference if you got a fast boat. You can outrun them old clunkers they run around in, right? 720,000 per week in 1927. When that was over, they had mafia and crime syndicates so big and so strong, you couldn't get rid of them. Why didn't Negroes ever build that? Why there's no drug mafia like that? Because alcohol wasn't controlled by the government. Drugs is. So they don't let nobody get big. Once you get so big, off to the penitentiary you go all the time. You haven't even heard of a Negro syndicate in America. And if they get over $50, they'll have the federal government, the FBI, be on them, M13, anybody that's going, after you get over $50, they're going to run the RICO Act after you, and they're going to bust you up. Why? Because a crime syndicate with that much money can fund anything they want, and they can fund reconstruction of the black community. They can do anything they want. They can fight a war, they can start a war, they can stop a war. So they don't want no organized, wealthy Negroes. In closing, that's why the white man does not like me. That's the main reason. All this other Islam, that's part of it too, from the Zionists. But in those days, that was the idea. To fight a rebellion, we should control all the drugs and crime in our community. Like white folks, because we wanted to be like white folks, right? That's what we wanted to be, so Al Capone was that way. The mafia does that, so we'll have a black mafia. That's simple. And 2 weeks later, I had to go. You gotta get out of here, buddy. We're not having no, and they have not had no organizing. They get a lot of money for a couple of weeks, then they gone. I don't care how much money, right? They don't have it. Okay, so that's what they fear. They fear independence, they fear wealth, they fear organization. We're going after all three this time. We don't care whether they like it or not. We're just as legal as the judge's mama. We ain't did nothing wrong, and we ain't did nothing to nobody. And you better act right, Euro, because your luck is going pretty bad. And you know how it goes when you get a little weak. We're nice. See the smile? But all the other people you done jumped on, they haven't practiced no Tuskegee bil-Nafs. They don't know nothing about that. All they know is you landed them in the penitentiary for 35 years. You killed their brother. You ran their mama crazy. So you better hope for us. In fact, you ought to back us if you got any sense. I'm talking directly to the Euro now. Mr. Euro, plus Iranians, y'all helped me with millions. But Euro, you should help with billions, since the money don't add nothing. You leave it to me. I'll fix it for you. So you have a soft landing. You're going down anyway, ain't nobody can stop that. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. You brought it on yourself. Don't blame me. I had nothing to do with it. But if you want a soft landing, you help somebody to know how to help bring it in slowly and set it down. Leave it to you. You ain't got enough sense. And you're not nice. That's the main thing. You're just not nice. Other than that, you don't have sense, you're not nice. You wasn't made for it. You wasn't built for it. You haven't studied for it. You haven't planned for it. You don't even know what I'm talking about. Because you don't do that. That's why you don't know. Now, last thing in our close. You legalize drugs so you can get something done. Then you send us, $4 or $5 million, that'll get us started. We'll have a psychological program for America. And within 5 years, everybody will like each other. And we won't spend a whole lot of time on you. We're not going to divert attention from you because you've been a bad boy. He's been bad. And there's nothing that nobody can do. You can't, But anyway. $few billion. Now I'm telling you, look, this is going to happen anyway. So why not anticipate and plan ahead? Thank you very much, dear brothers and sisters. Okay, I forgot. California, Muslim Parliament, all that stuff, we haven't forgot that. We're on that all day long. So, Muslim Parliament, As-Sabiqun Liberation Organization. Liberate from what? To liberate the Islamic movement from inferiority complexes. To liberate the movement from Saudi money. To liberate the Islamic movement in North America from Zionist control and Zionist manipulation. And to bring back happiness. Thank you very much. As-Sabiqun.